So hello and welcome to today's game of Cathedral Knights versus Jns Toros. Cathedral Knights have won the toss and they have decided to bat first in this 20 over contest of the Dats Premier League. We're all set for the first ball. And it's called a no ball, in fact. Batters are Ryan and Avnish. And the Toros are starting with Shamin, who starts with a no ball. The two fielders outside the 30-yard circle in the power play. Swung away and couldn't get it through the 30-yard circle. So the first legal ball off the game. And the Cathedral Knights are off the mark with that extra of the no ball. Big shout for LBW. The umpire is not interested. Maybe a bit too high with the kind of length that Shaman is bowling. And they scamper through for a leg bye. So dot ball. Driven and straight to the fielder. Chance of run out. Oh, good throw. I think the keeper was anticipating a direct hit and was not right behind the stumps here. Would have been a very close call had it been collected cleanly or had it hit the direct. The fielder up point did really well, in fact, backward point. So the two men out deep are backward point and the man at deep square leg. So the expectation of the line is to be a lot straighter or wider. Tapped away to backward point for a single. Final ball of the over. Still persisting with that deep point fielder. Swing and a miss. And a good end to the over. It's 4 without a wicket of the first over. Good first over by Shaman. Just 3 off it, including that no ball of the very first ball. So a decent start. 4 without a wicket. Still persisting with that 2 men outside the circle. In fact, they've now pulled in the deep square leg man and now put a long on and a deep point. So very interesting field for the first 6 overs. I can spot the man down. There's no mid-off. In fact, he's been pushed down to long on. Another change in field here. The man at deep point has been called in. And they've now put a third man. And the man at third man is moving a little finer here. So the new bowler is Shobhan. Good ball to start with. So the plan is pretty clear to not give a lot of room to the batters, not to give any sort of a length that allows them to free their arms. Again, good bowling, sensible bowling this. Pretty straight lines again. And consecutive dot balls for the Toros. Very important in the power play to do that. Another swing and a miss. Excellent bowling this. He's getting some extra bounce here. Shobhan. Good smart bowling this. Really understanding the field and knowing what lengths to bowl. 3 consecutive dot balls. Pressure on Ryan already. He's 1 of 7 balls. Again, there you can see on your screens, there's a man right at the cut shot. Big shout and up goes the finger. First wicket for the Toros. Excellent bowling. Bowled it short and slightly fuller this time. And gets the much needed breakthrough here. Full ball. Nicely bowled. And that would have crashed onto the middle stump. Tried to cover the line a bit. And missed the ball altogether. And the umpire had no hesitation in raising his finger. So the first wicket for the Toros. Knights lose their first one. It's 4 for 1 after Ryan departs for a single. So excellent bowling by Shobhan. 3 dot balls and a very important wicket. And the new batter is Anand Bir. Again a big shout and up goes the finger. Back to back wickets here. Excellent bowling. The batsman is not very happy with that decision, but he has to go. Golden duck for Anand Bir here, and back-to-back wickets for Shobhan and the Toros. Again, foolish ball, tried to cover the line a bit, missed it altogether, and the umpire thought for a bit and raised his finger immediately. The batter thought it's going down the leg side, but no use. And Anand Bir has to depart for a golden duck. It's 4 for 2 now, the Cathedral Kings. This is seriously good bowling by Shobhan. And he's on a hat-trick here, in fact. Can he do it? And he's adding a slip here for the new batter. And a man at catching mid-on here. Very interesting field this. They're expecting the batter to play the chip shot. So very attacking In fact, there's no slip but a catching mid on. So final ball of the over, which also be the hat-trick ball for Shobhan. Can he do it? Incredible scenes here. Just waiting for the ball to be bowled. Here we go, hat-trick ball. Mukund, the new batsman. Oh, nicely played. Nicely bowled as well. Excellent over. Double wicket made in this for the Toros. It's 4 for 2 after 2 overs. Right, then Shaman back for his second over. Nicely bowled and cautiously played as well. So if you look at the previous over, the result of 2 wickets was actually the pressure created by both Shaman and Shobhan in those 10 balls. Again, nicely bowled, tapped away. There is a man at the point for a single. Like I was talking about, the pressure that both Shaman and Shobhan created with the ball, not allowing anything for the batters, which actually resulted in those 2 wickets, and also sensible bowling. Yes, there might have been that odd call where the batter felt it might have gone down the leg side, but credit to the bowlers here. Excellent bowling. I have not bowled any loose deliveries at all, which has actually resulted in the couple of wickets that have just fallen. Again, smartly bowled, nicely played as well. Mukund is slightly batting outside his crease, anticipating some movement. There you can see he's marking his guard outside the crease. Swung away and beats the man at mid-on. The man at long off cuts it away. Good fielding, good cricket all round. In fact, excellent fielding this. The man at long off had to run through and use his footwork a bit to protect that boundary and keep it down to just a single. Again, excellent teamwork by Toros to keep the runs down, especially in this first 6 overs. Nicely bowled and doesn't carry. Tries a direct hit at the batter's end. So the 2 men out are deep point and long off. Again, a very interesting field. So they are asking the batters to hit on the leg side and trying to use a bit of a movement that's available because of the new ball and get those LBW and bowled wickets. So now they've changed the field a bit. There is a man at catching point. Again, straighter lines, tapped away for a single, and a slight fumble allows the batters to scamper through quickly. That's the end of the over. It's 7 for 2 after 3 overs, the Cathedral Kings or Cathedral Knights. So it's Shobhan to continue his excellent bowling of the first over. Cuts, and there is a man deep at third man. So first runs of Shobhan's ball here. Again, no boundaries yet in these 19 balls that have been bowled. Continuing the good process, good pressure. And you can see on the left of your screen there is a catching mid on. So they anticipate the batter to actually chip it down the ground. And the batter has been asked to run from the other side of the pitch. And there is a catching point. 2. Steps down and got him. Knocks him over. Does Shobhan. Excellent bowling. This was talking about how they're creating the pressure. But Mukund tried to step down and he's cleaned him up. Might have been a slight inside edge. Again, as you see, excellent length. Misses the length completely. And the middle stump is uprooted. Smart bowling, and the third wicket is down for the Cathedral Knights. Just 8 runs, in fact, on the board. Again, the pressure of the fielding and the bowling, not allowing the batter to free his arms at all. So the third wicket down now for 8 runs. And Shobhan with all 3 wickets with some really smart bowling. So the new batter in is Nilesh. Big shout, and up goes the finger. Oh, he's running a right here, Shobhan. 4th wicket for him. Again, the batter is not happy with the decision, but he has to go. 4th wicket down for 8 runs. Second golden duck for Cathedral Knights. And they are in a huge trouble here. 4th wicket down for just 8 runs on the board. Again, we take a look at the delivery. He's got some lateral movement. The batter tried to step down, move away to the off stump, but completely missed the ball. And the umpire had no hesitation in raising his finger. 4th wicket for Shobhan. Again on a hat-trick. Second time in 2 overs. He's on a hat-trick here, Shobhan, again. Now you can see on your screen here, the man at point has now slightly moved to backward point, and they're still persisting with that short mid-on catcher. So hat-trick ball. Can he do it this time, Shobhan? Oh, nicely bowled and nicely played. This is seriously good bowling. And they are creating the pressure here on the batters. Consistently bowling good lines, good lengths. So the two fielders outside the 30-yard circle are quite fine here. Cuts away. Has he found the gap? Yes, he has. So for first boundary for the Knights. Good shot. Picked the length early and cuts it fine for 4. There were two fielders behind trying to stop the ball, but couldn't stop it. Raced away for 4. Still persisting with the same field here. There is a man at third man in the boundary. In fact, they've put an extra fielder inside the circle. And now they're moving the short mid on to short mid wicket. And mid on to long on. So now you have two fielders outside the 30-yard circle. Tapped away. The man at fine leg has to cut it through and keeps it down to just 1 run. So end of the over. 6 came off that over. 13 for 4 after 4 overs. The Knights. Shaman back for his third over. He's not given away too many freebies here, and that has been the trademark of this bowling effort from Toros so far. And very interestingly, the keeper is now up to the stumps to protect the batter or prevent the batter from stepping down or moving out of the crease. And this time the two fielders outside the 30-yard circle are long off and deep point. So nothing straight can be expected. In fact, he bowls one straight. So the one thing that Toros have done well is to actually bowl to their fields, not giving too many freebies away. And this one was a leg by again. So just one boundary in 26 balls. Again, nicely bowled. This is some seriously good bowling by Toros. The new ball bowlers have been excellent so far. Chipped. The man at long off takes the catch. Half of the side Knights have been knocked off and they are back in the hut. Avnish tries to loft this over, doesn't really get the timing, and has perished as Shaman gets his first wicket of the game. 14 for 5 now as the batter departs. Again, tries to play the chip shot, checked his shot a bit, didn't get the timing, and safe catch. The man at long off station takes a very simple catch, in fact. So the 5th wicket down for the Knights as half of the side are back in the hut. It's 14 for 5 inside the power play. In fact, 1 over and 2 balls left in the power play. Nirav is the new man in. Still the keeper is up to the stumps, persisting to the same field here. Oh. He's knocked him over, in fact. What is happening here? 6th wicket down for the Knights. He plays all around that one. Excellent bowling this. Couldn't read the length and he's gone for another duck. Vishal is stranded at the other end. 14 for 6 now. The Cathedral Knights. Nicely bowled. Tried to tap it and defend it. In fact, missed the length altogether. Hit the keeper on his chest, in fact. Hope he's alright. But the 6th wicket is down for the Cathedral Knights. 14 for 6. Sahil is the new man in, and again Shamin is on a hat-trick. Can he do it? Oh, nicely bowled and nicely negotiated as well. It's a Yorker. End of an eventful over. Just one leg by from it. 14 for 6 after 5 overs. Toros are all over Knights here. 14 for 6. Last over of the power play. Shobhan is back for his 3rd over. And quite rightly so. Captain is in fact thinking for wickets. Still persisting with that man at short mid-on. And now a long on in place for the drives. And again the keeper has been called up to the stumps. Not fully up to the stumps. A few yards inside. Oh, tries to cut it away. Doesn't get any contact on that one. So as I've been saying, it's a combination of excellent bowling and smart captaincy to get the right fielders in the right place, trying to get into the batter's mind to drive them into false shots. Only one dismissal has been caught. Rest have been bowled or LBW. So talks a lot about the lines of the bowlers so far. Need to continue this effort. Again, pulls it short, tries to cut it away, but the man at short point cuts it off. So I've been talking about the kind of lines that these two bowlers have bowled. No width at all, and even if a width has been produced or some width has been produced, they've tried to cut it down by keeping the right man at the right place. Cuts and finds the gap this time for 4. Second boundary of the innings. And I'd say a much needed one by Vishal this. Nicely picked the length, moved back and across and found the gap through the region between point and backward point for 4. I don't think the Toros would mind this boundary because that'll allow them to tinker with the field a bit more and add pressure because they are on top still. Again, good bowling. Tries to come for a single, but it's not there. And rightly sent back by the non-striker. Couple of balls left in this over. So very, very interesting to see what Vishal does here because not a lot of batting left for the Knights. And Vishal will hold the key through the innings and whatever score they are looking at. Cuts and finds the fielder. Chance of a run out. No, it's just back in time. Excellent cricket all round. Not so nice from the batters. Vishal wants the single, but Sahil is not interested. Final ball off the over. Final ball off the power play, in fact. Ends with a dot ball. So power play done. 18 for 6. The Cathedral Knights. And Shobhan has a figure of 4 for 10 of his 3 overs. It'll be interesting to see if the captain brings him back for another over after this one. Shaman back for his final over. So the captain is thinking about wickets here. So the field restrictions have been taken off. Nicely bowled and nicely played as well. Down the leg side and be called a wide, and rightly so. Second extra of the innings. Again, the keeper is standing up to the stumps and not let the batter step out to conquer any movement that exists. Nicely bowled. So they are keeping it tight still. Although the power play is done, they have put the 2 men at long on and long off. And there is a man in the deep on the offside in deep point. Again down the leg side. Missing his line here, Shaman. Nicely bowled. Very nicely bowled. So the field here is a deep point. There is a short third man. There is a catching backward point and a point in place with long on, long off, and the men at mid wicket. In fact, there's no one at square leg except the umpire himself. So very, very interesting field here. They're anticipating the batter to cut through the line and try and get some wickets from that region. Swing and a miss. Tried to go over the bowler's head but couldn't get any connection on it. And a good take by the keeper standing up to the stumps. It's not very easy judging the length of the ball. And nicely played to end the 7th over. And it's 20 for 6 for Cathedral Knights. And Shaman finishes with 2 for 8 of his 4 overs. Excellent figures. Just brilliant economy rate of just 2 runs and over. Gave absolutely nothing away, barring the couple of extras in his 4 overs. And Shobhan is back for his final over. So the captain is very clear that he wants wickets from his new ball bowlers. Still the keeper is up to the stumps. Very similar kind of field from what was in the previous over. In fact, mid-off is now up in the ring. So they have a third man in place, no one at square leg or fine leg. In fact, there is a man between square leg and mid wicket. There is a long on. Mid off is inside the circle. There's a man at cover and backward point. Cuts away. Has he found the gap? No, the man at deep point cuts it off. So there is a man at catching on mid-on to stop the single down long on. Excellent bowling so far from Shobhan, continuing his good effort from the previous overs. Just a single of the first 3 balls. Needs to finish this well because the batters would know that once they see him off, they might have a few chances to score some runs. Bit of width, but the batter fails to connect. Again, good keeping. Didn't really let the ball seep through his legs, the keeper. Edged. Oh, he just parries it away for four. In fact, the fielder shot third. The Knights wouldn't mind this at all because tried to stop it but fends it off his boots. In the process, beats the man at third man. So welcome boundary for Knights this. Final ball of Shobhan's spell. And I think the keeper has put down the catch. The umpire indicates bat here. Yeah, it'll go down as a tough chance. Not very happy, the keeper, with himself. But an excellent effort by him standing up to the stumps to actually judge the pace of the ball. A fine spell by Shobhan comes to an end. 4 for 15 of his 4 overs. After 8 overs, the Knights are 25 for 6. So Jimmy is the new bowler into the attack after the barrage of the new ball bowlers for the first 8 overs. So there are 2 men in the point region, point and backward point. There is a man at deep extra cover alongside long on, long off, and still no deep square leg. Pushed away through for a single. Tapped away. And there is a man who cuts it off as the batter come across for a single. So yet another good start by the Toros. Again, smart bowling. Very interesting decision not to have anyone on the leg side. So the entire plan for them to bowl is around that stumps and the off stump. Give nothing away straight for the batsmen to free their arms or go through the leg side. Tries to swing it away but doesn't get any bat on it. Or rather, any timing on it, in fact. Tries to swing it away, taking full advantage, but results in nothing but a dot ball. So the final ball of Jimmy's first over. Dot ball to finish that over. 27 for 6 after 9 overs, the Knights. Anand is the new bowler into the attack. As we see spin for the first time in the game. And be very interesting to see what field they have. This time they have opted for a deep, fine leg, in fact, a long leg. There is long on, long off, and deep point. Starts off with a wide. Oh, misfield, slight misfield. I'll allow the batters to come back. No, they don't. So, a couple of runs already off the first ball here. Short. And just punched away off the back foot for a single. So the viewers who are tuning in just now, the Cathedral Knights won the toss and they decided to bat first. And in the process, they are 30 for 6 thanks to good bowling or the new ball burst from Shobhan and Shamin. Tapped away for a single, tries a bit of footwork, but the man at deep point cuts it off and keeps it down to a single. So as I was saying, the Cathedral Knights won the toss, chose to bat, and some excellent bowling for the new ball by Shaman and Shobhan results in 6 wickets down for just 31 runs. Played down to long on for a single. It'll be very interesting to see what sort of approach these two batters take and try and get as many runs as possible for the Knights, because they would want some sort of a score to defend. Play on a miss. Tries to tap it. Again, excellent work behind the stumps by the keeper. I have to really appreciate the keeper here. He's judging the length very, very nicely. And a dot to finish. So the first half of this innings is done. 32 for 6, the Cathedral Knights. After 10 overs, and the players and the match officials will have a drinks break. So 32 for 6 after the first 10 overs. Jimmy is back for another over. Just a couple of runs of his first over. Tries to push it. The batters come across and make it home safely for a single. Change of ends for Jimmy. Play and a miss. Again, Sahil just trying to use the pace and guide it down to third man region, but doesn't get any contact on that one. Oh, edged away. There is a man down at deep third. Didn't read the ball at all, does Sahil. But safe in the end for the Knights. Swing and a miss. So Vishal has decided, in fact, to actually take on the bowler here. Very interesting decision this by the two batters. Not sure what the conversation was during the drinks break, but they are trying to go for the shots here. Oh, swung away. And that has gone the distance, in fact. What a shot. As I was talking about, the chat in the drinks break has surely brought in some energy for the Knights here. Picks the length, moved his front leg a bit out of the way and just punched it through for 6. Good power on that shot by Vishal. And the first 6 of the night. Some activity happening with the field here after that shot. Again, push through. The fielder at long on will collect it for a single. So 9 runs came off that over with that 6. 41 for 6 after 11 overs. The Knights. So Anand back for his second over. Conceded 5 of his first. Tapped away and the batters scamper through for a single. So it'll be very interesting to see what sort of plan these two batters have in mind to control, or rather set a total for the Toros, who've been all over the Knights so far. Tapped away but doesn't get it through. So it looks like that Vishal has decided to take the onus on himself to score while Sahil will play the supporting role. Wide. Has I been put down? No, it hasn't been. So it signaled a wide here. There was no bat involved. Again, short, quick single, and they make it through. Excellent running between the wickets. So good cricket all around by these two batters. They have had a plan after the drinks break to really try and keep the scoreboard ticking and not play too many dot balls. The two batters have together played 45 deliveries so far. Oh, edged, bottom edge. And the batters come back for a couple of runs. Tried to cut it through, but the ball was not far outside the off stump to cut it, so got it off the bottom edge. 5 runs so far of the first 4 balls. Tapped down the ground for a single. Punched. And the fielder from deep extra cover does a decent job. In fact, chance of a run out. But the batters make it through safely. Vishal was a little slow to start for the second run, but makes it comfortably in the end. 49 for 6 after 12 overs, as 7 runs came off that over. In fact, 8 runs came off that over. 49 for 6. So the new bowler in is Don. Hit away. And he'll find the boundary, does Vishal. So as I've been talking about, that Vishal is now taking the risks, as that brings up the 50 for the Knights. 53 for 6. Little shimmy down the ground. And nicely put away through deep mid wicket for 4. Oh, was there a stumping missed? Excellent bowling again. Looped through. Gave it a little flight. And the batter tried to get advantage of it. Missed the line completely. All safe in the end for the Knights. Oh, hit down the ground. Has he cleared the field? No, he hasn't. Good effort from the fielder in the deep. Had to run quite a lot. Had to cover a lot of ground, in fact. So Vishal is in a clear mindset of taking the risks here. Tapped away, but no single there. I think Sahil needs a move on here. He's been batting at a very little strike rate, doing the consolidation job, giving the supporting hand to Vishal, which is a good thing as per the situation, but he needs a move on here. Tapped away for a single. Again, Vishal has been a little slow running, but eventually makes it. Good awareness by the fielder down at long off to spot the batter be a little slow running the single. Not sure if it's a niggle for Vishal. Could be cramps. Shuffles away but taps it away for a single. Good smart bowling. Saw the batter shuffle away. Oh! Again, good awareness by the fielder at long off. Sahil was a little slow taking off for the single, but eventually no damage done. 7 of the over. It's 56 for 6 after 13 overs. The Knights. Sahil is the new bowler into the attack and starts with a dot ball. Nicely bowled. Couldn't judge the length. Vishal tried to step away and play through extra cover, but didn't have any length to work with. Cuts and beats the fielder for a single, in fact. Nice bit of timing, but good field placement by the captain. Be full toss, and that has been put away for 4. As I've been talking about, Sahil needs a move on, and he's got a gift from Sahil. Loopy full toss, and he just had to put it away through the gap for 4. Smart batting. We can see the towels out here. Not sure if there is a bit of dew already. Good comeback. Pulled it length a little back, not allowing any length for the batter to play away. Edged away, and that runs down the third man boundary for 4. So second boundary of the over. 9 came off that one. Again tries to defend it, gets a thickish outside edge, and that runs away for 4. 65 for 6 after 14 overs. Don is back for his second over. Put away and finds the gap for 4. So Vishal is now taking those calculated risks here. Back-to-back boundaries for the Knights. Steps down a little and finds the gap through the mid-wicket region for 4. Splits the fielders. Again tries to find a bit of a room, but smart bowling and the fielders collected while the batters scamper through for a single. Nicely bowled. And the batters just come across for a single. Again tries to give himself a bit of a room and just taps it away for a single. Short, foolish, and just put away for a single, in fact. Tries to take the aerial route, does Sahil, but doesn't get enough timing on that one. Shuffles down to the offside. Just get a single here. 9 came off that over, 75 for 6 after 15 overs. So the batters come across for a single. So another wide here down the offside. Thickish outside edge, and that'll run away. And the fielder at deep third does well. Shimmy down the track. And that has been put away for 6. Excellent shot. Picked the length early and dispatched it down the ground for 6. Again, a little shimmy down the track. And his long levers have come to good effect. Again, short and wide. Come back for a single here. Nicely bowled. Took the pace of that one. Lofted and dispatched for 4. So both the batters are getting a move on here, as is the end of the over. Excellent over that for the Knights. 88 for 6. 4 overs to go in this innings. Keyur is the new bowler in. Chipped away. And that will be 50 for Vishal. Excellent knock under pressure. Very, very important knock this. Gave himself a bit of room outside leg stump and found the gap beautifully. Really handy knock this, as it takes his team close to 100 runs and more, in fact, the Knights would want from him. And this is an excellent partnership so far. Shuffles down the leg side. Chance of a run out. Direct hit. No, the batsman had already given up. A slight misfield allows them to come back for two. It's all happening here. Vishal had already given up for that quick single. The bowler tried to get a direct hit but missed it altogether. And the fielder backing up also missed it. Again, shimmies down the leg side for a single. Tapped away. So the plans from Vishal and Sahil are pretty evident now. Tapped away through backward point for a single. I have to appreciate what Sahil is doing here. Really just rotating the strike, allowing Vishal to play those shots and play over a strike rate of 120. Final ball of the 17th over. And it ends with a dot ball. 8 runs off that over. 96 for 6, the Cathedral Knights. "96 for 6, 3 overs to go in the first innings for the Cathedral Knights, as an excellent partnership between Sahil and Vishal have recovered them from a terrible situation after being 6 down for 18 odd runs. As Jimmy is back for his third over. Shimmies down the track. Oh, and he's beat the fielder. But the man at long on does a clean-up job as the batters scamper through for a couple of runs. Tapped away down the ground for a single. Chipped away and falls short of the man at long on as the 100 comes up for the Cathedral Knights. This has been an excellent partnership, as I've been talking about. These two have been complementing each other really well. In the air. Fielder just lands safe. And they come back for a single. Just sliced it through. Wanted to go down the ground, I think. Couldn't get any timing on that one. But all safe for the Knights in the end. Shimmies down in the air again. Bowler drops it. Tough chance under the lights. Credit to the bowler here. Really tough under lights, judging the length, or rather the catch. Again, the batter's trying to go for the big shot. Didn't get any timing on it, but all ends well for the Knights. You can see Sahil batting outside his crease. Shot. And that has been hammered away. Has it gone all the way? Yes, it has. What a shot. Picked the length early and clears the rope comfortably. Good finish to the over. "12" came off that over. 108 for 6 with a couple of overs to go. Swing and a miss. As Keyur is back for another over. So very interesting field in place here. Put away. Has he found the gap? No. A couple of juggles and the fielder takes the catch. But what a fine knock by Vishal comes to an end. Keyur picks his first wicket. Finds the man in the deep, does Vishal. But excellent knock comes to an end. Shimmies down the track, gives himself a bit of room. Tries to take the aerial route, couldn't clear the fielder. Couple of juggles and eventually pouched safely by the fielder. So the 7th wicket down for the Knights. But all in all, excellent partnership comes to an end. "108 for 7 with 10 balls left in the innings. So 108 for 7 with 10 balls to go. Piyush is the new batter in. And the Cathedral Knights would look to get as many runs as possible in these remaining 10 legal deliveries. They would want to reach somewhere around 120 to pose a challenge to these players of Toros. Left-hander to a left-arm bowler. Very interesting to see. Edged. And that goes through the keeper for 4. Welcome boundary this for the Knights. They wouldn't mind these extra runs. Thickish bottom edge. The keeper tried to collect it. It has been excellent so far, but just passes through his legs for 4. Chipped away. And a difficult chance goes down. Sahil. And they come back for a couple of runs. It's all happening here in the last couple of overs. Again, tries to take the aerial route. Just slices off the bat. Difficult chance. Couldn't reach as they scamper through for a couple of runs. Chipped away again. Has he found the gap? Nice bit of footwork by the fielder at long off. And they come back for the 3rd run. Oh, in fact, they run for the 4th run, in fact. Excellent cricket all around. They take 4 runs of this. Chip through, and the fielder does a decent job as the batters come across for a single. So end of an eventful over. Just chipped again. Tough chance again. So the final over of the innings, Anand comes in to bowl. Chipped in the air and beats the fielder. Has that gone to the boundary? Yes, it has. Piyush is actually playing a gem of an innings here. All of a sudden, 130 looks not too far for the Knights. Just beats the fielder at backward point. $123 for 7 with 5 balls remaining. As they change the field a bit here. Again played in the air. And they come back for 2. Excellent running between the wickets. In fact, the fielder at deep mid wicket could have been a little more aware about the throw. Bowled him. So Anand has the last laugh, but I think it's an excellent hand by Piyush as the 8th wicket falls down for 125 runs. And Anand gets his first wicket. Shot into the batter and it's played down the wrong line. Misses that completely as the off stump gets uprooted. So much needed wicket this for the Toros as the momentum was slowly shifting towards the Knights. So the new batter in is Jay, who will face the last 3 balls. Again, they want to try and get as many runs as possible. The Knights, from 18 for 6 to 125 for 8. There's been some sort of a recovery from the Knights. Shot and put away for a single. So Sahil is on strike now, who has been set, and he'd want to face the last 2 balls to get as many runs as possible. Maybe go past 130, get to 135 if he can get those 2 big shots and finish the innings on a higher note. Swing and a miss. So 1 ball remaining, and anything above 130 would give the Knights a bit of confidence going into the chase. Shot in the air, lands safe, and they come back for a couple of runs. So that's the end of the innings, as Sahil is not out on 40 of 38 balls. And thanks to Vishal's half century, the Knights are 128 for 8 after their allotted 20 overs, as Anand finishes at 1 for 22. So the target for the Toros will be 129 runs of 20 overs as we come back for the chase after a short break. Welcome back for the chase as the Toros require 129 runs of the allotted 20 overs to win this game, and Cathedral Knights have scored 128 for 8 runs thanks to those knocks from Vishal and Sahil, that excellent partnership, close to 86 runs, put them in this position, which would give them a little confidence defending this total. And talking about this pitch before we get into the chase, this has been a little two-paced wicket with a good bit of assistance with the new ball as Shobhan and the other new ball bowler actually ran through the top order of the Cathedral Knights. So the new ball bowlers will have some assistance, and it's all about controlling the flow of runs for the Cathedral Knights. And for the Toros, the job is very simple, just to keep ticking the scoreboard around and finish this chase off. So an interesting second half is coming our way as Samar and Ashish open the batting for the Toros, and Jay opens the bowling for the Knights. Here we go, first ball off the chase. Swing and a miss. Hint of movement for Jay here. And be very interesting to see what sort of length these bowlers bowl, because the two new ball bowlers actually bowled fuller lengths. Driven firmly through the gap for 4. This is smart batting. Saw the length early and just put away in the gap for 4. Nicely driven through extra cover. So the first boundary of the chase for the Toros. Again, play and a miss. That'll be a wide. Way down the offside. So the key for the new ball bowlers is to actually keep hitting the same length. Good bowling again. So to keep hitting the same lengths again and again and not give too many freebies. That's what the new ball bowlers for the Toros did. And they'll have to take a cue from that bowling barrage with the new ball. Again, a play and a miss. Finds the gap and finds the boundary. So end of the first over, it's 9 without a wicket. Again, picks the length early and just check drives it for 4. So 9 runs came of the first over as the Toros get the chase underway. Sahil bowls the second over, had a good outing with the bat and an excellent partnership with Vishal, which resulted in this total that the Knights got through. Little swing for Sahil up front. Little misfield as the batters scamper through for a single. I think it bounced a little weirdly in front of the fielder, allowing the batters to go for a single. Bit of an extra bounce for the bowler. Again, checks his drive. Has he found the gap? Yes, he has. Good effort from the fielder at the deep point boundary to stop it, but couldn't really cleanly stop it. Good shot. Just punched it through the offside for 4. Shot. And there is a man in the deep for that particular shot. Six runs off that over. It's 15 without a wicket after a couple of overs. Chair back for his second over. Tries a direct hit at the non-striker's end, but safe enough. Drives but couldn't find the gap. Punch down the ground as the batters scamper through for a single. So as the power play is on, let's have a look at the field. In the air and falls short of the man at extra cover. So the field in place is third man and a man at deep point, and also a slip in place. Tried to go down the ground but couldn't get any connection on that one. Nicely bowled and very nicely played. And after 3 overs, you're 17 for none. The Toros, as Sahil is back for his second over of the spell. Again, safely negotiated. So these two batters have been really good at rotating the strike in the first 6 overs. As we've talked about the field, still persisting with the same field. There is a man at deep point, and there's a man, little finish third man, and they are operating with a slip, expecting the movement to help the bowlers. Again, tap through for a single. The Toros were actually good at cutting down the singles, especially by placing a short mid on right next to the non-striker, where the non-striker had moved to the other side as the fielder had copped in. So that's where they are differing in tactics here. Tickled away fine, and that'll go for 4. No one in the deep. Erring in line here. Tasail tried to go for the full glory ball, but just missed it line, and easy runs for the batter to just tap it away for 4. Better line, better length, and the batter scamper through for a single. tapped away on the onside for another single. So 8 runs came off that over. After 20, after 4 overs, it's 25 without any wicket. The Toros. Play and a miss. Jay back for his third over. In the air and tough chance gone down. And the batters come across for a single. Nicely bowled, luring the batter into the drive. And a tough chance. Good effort. Play and a miss again. So Jay has been producing chances here and there, luring the batter into the drive and also pulling his length back at odd times. Cut away, thickish bottom edge for 4. Not where the batter wanted it to go, but eventually ends up in a 4. Just gives himself a bit of a room and tries to tap it to point, but gets a nice bottom edge for 4 through the third man region. So runs coming thick and fast for the Toros in this power play. Again, flicks it. And flicks it fine for 4. So back-to-back boundaries for Ashish and the Toros. Again trying for the glory ball, but just missed its line. And that runs away for 4. So the final ball of the over coming up. 9 runs of it so far. Tapped away, run through for a single. After 5 overs, the Toros are 35 without a wicket. Sahil back for his third over. And the final over of the power play. The Toros are going at about 7 runs an over, as they require 94 runs from the 15 overs remaining. Again flicked away. There is no one in the deep. Will the man at square leg get through? No, he doesn't. And it goes for 4. Again erring in line here, Sahil. Not exactly bowling to his field, trying to trap the batter LBW, but nicely flicked away, and it had the legs to reach the boundary. So runs nicely coming for the Toros. Again down the leg side, will be called wide. Now he's asking for a man at square leg. Again down the leg side and flicked away fine for 4. So back-to-back boundaries here for the Toros. Still not learning Sahil from his previous delivery. Again going for the full ball, trying to get it swing and straighten it enough, but just misses his length, and Ashish is quick on it. He's raced away to 25 of 14 balls. 9 runs of the over so far. It's still 4 more balls to go. Last over of the power play. Again down the leg side, will be called wide. So 4 wide, followed by another 4 wide. Now down the offside. That's through the fielder, but the man at deep point will cut it off. 11 runs off the over so far. Still 3 balls left. Not the ideal kind of start that you want to see when you're defending a total of 129 runs. Down the track and over the fielder for 4. And that brings up the 50 on board for the Toros. 50-run opening stand between these two batters. Shimmy down the track, fuller length, and just beats mid-off for 4. Samar and Ashish putting on a show here. 50 of 34 balls between the two batters. Again down the track and misses that completely. I think it missed the off stump a bit as well. Rare dot ball in this over. "15 of the over so far. Last ball off the power play. Driven and finds the gap for 4. So that's 19 runs of that over. Ends the power play on a higher note. 54 without a wicket after 6 overs. As you see the replay, just checks his drive and pierces the gap through point and backward point region for 4. And that's the end of the power play. It's 54 without a wicket after 6 overs. So after a good bit of batting performance, Vishal is introduced into the attack. Be very interesting to see what he does with the ball, as he had an excellent outing with the bat, no doubt about that. So the two batters have raced away to 25 and 26. And the Toros need 75 runs from the remaining 14 overs at about 5.36 an over. And the Knights badly need a wicket here. They need to break this partnership. Can Vishal be the golden arm that the Knights are looking for today? And as we come to the end of the power play, we have more fielders outside the 30-yard circle now. There is a man at deep point, long on, long off. Still no one at deep in square leg. There is a man between deep square leg and mid wicket inside the 30-yard circle. So Vishal is bowling round the wicket. There, flicked away. No one in that area. The man at square leg cuts it through. Oh, a chance of a run out here. No, as the batters scamper through for 3 runs. Vishal is bowling around the stumps through the umpire's stance. Down the track, missed that completely. Good take by the keeper. Excellent take, in fact. Swept. And a leading edge rolls down to deep mid wicket. So good bowling so far. 4 of the first 4 balls. Needs to finish this over well, does Vishal. Cut away and beats the fielder, but there is a man out for that shot. 5 of the over so far. Driven. And driven for 4. So the man at long off had been called up to mid off and ends the over with a boundary. 9 came off that over. It's 63 for none after 7 overs. As you look at the replay, drilled it through mid off for 4. "63 without a wicket after 7 overs. The Toros required 66 runs off the remaining 13 overs. And the two batters have looked really comfortable out there. No pressure at all generated by the bowlers as Nirav comes into the attack. In the air and falls short of the fielder at long on as they come back for a single. driven down the ground, but there is a fielder. So rare dot ball in this innings. Tries to play that down the ground, hit on the pads, but I think the impact would have been over 3 meters, which is why the bowling team is not interested in appealing. Some good over so far. Just one run. Cut away and straight to the fielder. So 3 dot balls in a row now for the Knights. Tapped away for a single. So again, not allowing the batters to free their arms. This is good bowling by Nirav. Again tapped away on the offside for a single. Excellent over, 3 off it. 66 without a wicket after 8 overs. Anish into the attack. Oh, inside edge, and that runs away to the boundary for 4. Not exactly where he wanted, but lucky enough. The batter. Thickish inside edge. Wanted to play that through the offside, but not enough room on that ball. So 70 on the board already for the Toros. Good bowling. And lets that go, does Ashish. Big shout, big shout. The umpire indicates a bit of bat. So good bit of bowling this by Anish, although he did concede a boundary, but that was off an inside edge. So smart bit of bowling by Anish so far. Bit of weight, and that's cut away for 4. So this is smart batting by Ashish as he gets to 40 runs. I will look at the replay of that shot. Nicely picked the length early and found the gap so nicely for 4. Foolish ball, tapped away for a single. So runs coming thick and fast for the Toros, as 9 runs of the over so far. Still a ball to come. Down the track. Has he found the gap? Yes, he has. The fielder tried to stop it with his feet, but not able to do so. Lovely bit of shot down the track, punched it through, and the fielder did a good job covering the ground, but eventually ended up going for 4. So 13 runs came off that over, 79 without a wicket, as the Toros need 50 runs from the 11 overs remaining. Nirav for his second over. Again, good bit of bowling. Sensible bowling. And a much precious dot ball here for the Knights. Still 50 runs away. If they can pick a couple of wickets, they will be back in the game. Tapped away. Fielder will cut it off and keep it down for a single. Man at long on does well. Well bowled. Tried to cramp the batter for some room, and the batter tried to play that expansive drive. Summer. Again plays down the ground for a single. It's 2 of the over so far. Nicely bowled and very nicely played as well. Respecting the good balls, these two batters, especially Ashish, has not been too rash or trying to be aggressive from ball 1. He's taken his time but put all the bad deliveries away to the boundary. Drilled powerfully down the ground for 4. And a poor end to an excellent over. Still 6 runs came off that one. Foolish length and driven beautifully down the ground for 4. So after 10 overs, the Toros are 85 for no loss. And the players and the match officials will take drinks break. So 10 overs done, 85 for no loss. The Toros, they are cruising through this chase as they need 44 runs of the remaining 10 overs in this innings. They've been looking very, very comfortable out in the middle. Ashish batting at 46. Sama is on strike at 36 as Viral comes into the attack. In the air and safe. And the batters scamper through for a couple of runs. Little late on that second run, but eventually made it safe. Nicely bowled and nicely played as well for a single. In the air and safe enough for a single by Samar. Hit through the line and scamper back for a single as he brings up his 50. Does Ashish. Very important knock in a run chase. Very nicely played. Excellent knock as his teammates appreciate him from the dugout. Hold him. Never too late for a wicket as Viral comes in and picks up the first wicket for the Knights as he breaks the 91 run stand between Samar and Ashish. Tried to step down and hoik it through the line but missed it altogether. Did Samar and the middle stump is gone. So the first wicket down for 91 runs. It's 91 for 1 after 11 overs. So the new bat in is Keyur. As the Toros required 38 runs of the 9 remaining overs. Viral with an important wicket. A bit late, I'd imagine, but they have eventually broken the 91 run stand. So KU takes the strike, or rather, Ashish is on strike. Nicely bowled. Ryan into the attack. Cut away. Won the second, but the non-striker sends them back. Nicely bowled. Little bottom edge on that one on the bounce to the keeper. Driven. Down to long off for a single. Big shout for LBW and up goes the finger. So 50 and out for Ashish. Back-to-back wickets for the Knights. Tried to play across the line. The impact might have been a little questionable, but I think it's hit him on the line. So that would have gone on to hit the off stump. The second wicket down for the Toros at 93 as Ashish departs for a well-made 51. 93 for 2 after 11.5 overs as Toros need 36 from 49 balls. The new batter in is Manoj. Short wide. Has he found the gap? No, good work in the deep to keep it down to a single. So 3 runs and a wicket off that over, 94 for 2, as the Toros need 35 runs from 8 overs. So Viral back for his second over after an excellent first over, got the wicket of Summer. .35 from 8 overs. Should not be a lot difficult, but can the Knights pick a couple of more wickets and make it difficult for the Toros, who've been all over the place so far in this game? Again, full ball, nicely tapped down the ground. Will they come back for 2? No, they don't. So it's all been easy going despite the couple of wickets in the last 2 overs for Toros. 2 relatively new batters in the crease. So I'd imagine the Knights would want to put some pressure on them to not let them score runs freely and then produce a few breakthroughs. Foolish ball driven, and the man at long off. Little misfield will allow them for a couple of runs. All round good cricket. Nicely bowled and nicely played as well. You can see the bowlers wiping the ball with the towels. Very important to not give away boundaries. Even singles and doubles would work at this point of time. Nicely bowled. And good work by the keeper. Do not let it slip through for a 4. Gone, has it? Yes, it has. As I was talking about picking up crucial breakthroughs, this one is nicely taken by the bowler himself. Not an easy catch on the run up, or rather the follow through. But Viral has come up with his golden arm, nicely bowled. The batter trying to play that down the ground. Popped out of the hand a couple of times, but eventually taken in the 4th attempt. And the 3rd wicket down in consecutive overs for the Toros. A little collapse here. Nicely bowled again as we look at the replay of the 3rd wicket. Good composure by the bowler to actually hold on to that catch. Again, not very easy taking it on the follow through. So the 3rd wicket goes down for 97. Toros are 97 for 3 as they require 32 from 44 balls. The new batter in is Shaman. Had an excellent day with the ball. Oh, nicely bowled. Very nicely bowled this. So Viral has been getting on to some rhythm here. Targeting the stumps, zooming in on those 3 sticks. Not giving away anything to the batters to work with. Oh, tucked away. That's a poor ball. Just erring a bit in his line, and that brings up the 100 for Toros. They now need just 28 of the remaining 7 overs. As we look at the replay, tried to go for the full glory ball, but the batter was well aware and tucked it away fine for 4. Smart bit of batting. And after 13 overs, it's 101 for 3, the Toros. 7 runs and a wicket came off that viral over. So 3 wickets in 3 overs. Now a little collapse kind of for the Toros, but they would want to not give away more wickets and seal the deal in about 3 or 4 overs. It will help their net run rate as well. Nicely bowled and equally nicely played too. Tucked a little fine. Cuts and just beats the fielder inside the 30-yard circle as they come back for a single. Nicely played. So they're dealing in singles at the moment. They need 25 runs off 21 balls. Or rather 41 balls. 39 balls. Mild shot for LBW, but that would have been going down the leg side. So 104 for 3 so far. That'll be wide. Way down the tram line. Play and a miss. Except the last ball of the last over, there have not been a lot of boundary balls from the Knights. They are picking up slowly here. Again, good bit of bowling. So after 14 overs, we are 105 for 3, the Toros. As Viral comes back after that eventful over where he picked up the wicket of Keyur. Toros required 24 or 5.5 overs. Again, flicked away. And flicked away for 4. A little error in length that was too full. And the batter very rightly takes the advantage of the ball. Nicely flicked off the front foot for 4. It's just 20 required now of 34 balls for the Toros. They were under a bit of a pressure when those 3 consecutive wickets fell. Again, nicely bowled. So, the plans seem to be working not for the Knights but for the Toros so far through the day, through the game. Good shot for LBW, and that's gone. And the batter doesn't look happy at all. But the umpire has raised his finger, so the batter has to eventually walk off. Good bowling. As you look at the replay, and that will be crashing onto the middle stump. The umpire actually shook his head when the batter pointed to his bat. As you look at the other angle, yeah, easy call. That completely missed the bat. So the 4th wicket down and 3rd for Viral. As it's 109 for 4 the Toros. As they need 20 runs from 32 balls. So 109 for 4 as Sahil walks out to bat and nicely cut away for a single. So 19 needed off 31 balls as the last ball of the over remains. And what's been interesting about Viral is that he's been hitting the right lengths, forcing the batter for an error and not really waiting for the batter to make any errors. Again, nicely bowled in the air for a while. And that's the end of the over. It's 110 for 4 as the Toros need 19 runs off 30 balls. So it's 110 for 4 after 15 overs as the Toros require 19 runs off 30 balls. Ryan is back for his 3rd over. As we look at the field here, they have a long on, long off, deep point and deep mid wicket in place. And no one at deep square leg. Yorker length and nicely played. What's been prolific about this game is the absorption of pressure by the two teams. When Knights were collapsing at 18 for 6, that partnership between Sahil and Vishal actually gave them a lot of momentum going into the chase. In the air, oh, difficult chance of a run out. Oh, all safe in the end. And nicely bowled and very nicely fielded as well by Ryan. So, as I was talking about, both teams have been actually doing well under pressure, because when the two opening batters of the Toros had a 90-run stand, they still believed to actually pick wickets, and they have done that in the process, picking up 4 wickets thanks to Viral's spell of 3 wickets so far, and Ryan contributing with that single wicket. Oh, nicely bowled and nicely played as well, nicely defended off the front foot. So both teams have done well under pressure. Now a little partnership brewing between these two batters after that last wicket of Viral's over. In the air, shouts of catch it, but falls short of the fielder at long off. Half-hearted shot by the batter, but full marks to the bowler for luring the batter into that shot. Fall, fell short of the fielder at long off. Nicely bowled. Just rotating the strike. The non-striker wants a second but denied. So 3 runs off this over so far. Still a ball to go. Excellent over. Under pressure, not giving too many dot balls, rather too many boundary balls, creating that pressure with dot balls and just singles. 3 off the over. It's 113 for 4 as the Toros require 16 of 24 balls. So the pick of the bowlers, Viral, is back for his final over of the spell. Can he produce another wicket? Can he put the Toros under a bit more pressure, chasing this total of 129 runs? Seems like the batter at non-striker's end wants to have a drink. Slight pause in play as they take a little drink. So 16 needed of 4 overs as Viral comes back for his last over of his allotted 4 over quota. As we look at the field here, there is a man out at deep point. There's a man at long on, long off, and a deep square leg. So conventional field here for the two new batters, especially Sahil, who's relatively new in the crease. Just played 4 balls. Can Viral produce another wicket? Oh, nicely bowled. And nicely played as well. Just scamper through for a single. You can see the bowler wiping the ball. So change in ball here. It's because of the dew that's come in. They are changing the ball. What effect would this have on the chase? So they just need 15 runs. Again, a wayward delivery. That'll be called a wide. So new ball is offering a bit of movement. Can that be controlled? They don't have a lot of runs to play with. It's 14 needed of 17 balls. Rather, 23 balls. Edged away and he's found the gap. The fielder at third. Oh, just pulled it back. They come back for a couple of runs. So just 12 required now. Again, a bit of movement as Shaman tries to pat it through point. Gets a bit of an under edge. Again, nicely bowled. Just tapped away on the onside for a single. So dealing in singles at the moment, the Toros not under a lot of pressure to score these runs. Still need 11 runs of 20 balls. All too easy at the moment, but can Viral do that magic that he's been doing for the last 3.4 overs? Can he produce another wicket? In the air for a short while, but straight to the fielder. So last ball of this eventful spell for Viral. Been pick of the bowlers for the Knights. Still they need 11 runs of 19 balls, the Toros. Can Viral do it and pick a wicket for his side, which will just allow them to create a bit more pressure for these remaining 11 runs. Nicely bowled. And that's the end of an excellent spell. 3 for 23 for Viral, as it's 118 for 4 for Toros, as they need 11 runs from 18 balls. So 11 runs needed off the last 3 overs as Nirav is back for another over. 9 for none for 9 of his 2 overs. Nicely bowled. Starts off with a dot ball. Nicely bowled. Was there a bit of bat involved? Tough chance by the keeper. Quicker through the air. This ball by Nirav. Couple of dot balls to start the over. Oh, nicely bowled. Wants a single but sent back by the partner, Sahil. So 3 dot balls in a row now. Played through the gap. And the fielder in the deep does a nice job. But they still scamper through for a couple of runs. Nicely bowled. Just 2 of those 5 balls bowled by Nirav. He's bowling very sensibly here. So still 9 runs required off 13 balls. Oh, swing and a miss. Extraordinary over this under the circumstances. Just 2 of it. The Toros still need 9 runs of 2 overs. It's 120 for 4 after 18 overs. So Ryan is back for his final over. And this could be a very interesting and important over depending on what Sahil wants to do. Yeah, does he want to finish the chase or take it to the last over because still 9 runs are required? This could well be the game defining over. So they've called for the keeper to be up to the stumps. Still 9 required. Not fully up to the stumps though, the keeper. Just a few yards inside. Here we go. Still 9 runs required of 12 balls. Cuts away. There is a man in the deep. So just a single to start the over. Still 8 required. Little wayward throw, but doesn't result in a second run. So we look at the field here. There is a man at long on. There is a man at long off. They are now calling the man at third man inside the 30-yard circle. Pushing the fine leg a little finer who's inside the circle. Still 8 runs required of 11 balls. This is getting a little closer than the Toros had anticipated or must have anticipated. Down the track and misses that completely. So this is excellent so far from the two bowlers. Still 8 required of 10 balls. Punched away on the offside. And they scamper through for a single. So 7 runs needed of 9 balls. Still anyone's game here. Who will come out under pressure on top? Still 7 required. What will Sahil do of this ball? A very, very important ball this. Will he go for the big shot? Drives down the ground. There is a man at long on who just cuts it off and keeps it down to single. Still 6 required of 8 balls. What's Shamin gonna do? He's 12 of 21 balls. Taken his time a bit, but really been out there and not giving away wickets has been important for Toros so far. Oh dear. Oh dear, that missed the off stump. Very important dot ball this. Nice loopy full toss, but that would have crashed onto the off stump any other day. It's getting really, really close here. It's still 6 needed of 7 balls. What will Shamin do of this ball? This is a very, very important delivery. He can finish this game or take it to the last over.